Hello everybody and welcome to the last of the Zoo Tycoon intermediate difficulty scenarios. Today it is the Southeast Asian Zoo scenario. I think this is only available with complete collection. It's like a downloadable scenario, or maybe it's like with the endangered species or endangered animals pack. But in any case I got it with my complete collection. So this is a scenario with no time limit, and it is actually quite an easy scenario. So it says here that the government of Thailand has set aside an area of the rainforest as a wildlife refuge. At the moment, no animals live there, so Thai authorities have decided to turn this area into a zoo focusing on local endangered wildlife. You will need to exhibit a pair of orangutans, a pair of Javan rhinos, and a pair of Malaysian tapirs. In all, you'll need to provide at least 5 exhibits filled with animals, either local or from elsewhere. You'll have to have a fairly high zoo rating and nice exhibits as well. If you only exhibit animals from Southeast Asia and you exhibit at least one of the Southeast Asian big cats, you can expect additional support from the government of Thailand. So, yeah, there's no time limit. So the scenario will just end as soon as we complete the objectives, and also we don't have to wait around for the deadline to finish like we do normally. So yeah, adopt 2 orangutans, 2 Javan rhinos, 2 Malaysian tapirs, have at least 5 non-empty exhibits, earn an exhibit suitability rating of at least 85 for all Southeast Asia exhibits, exhibit at least 8 animals from Southeast Asia, and a zoo rating of 85. So, straight away, the game is actually telling us, you need these 6 animals, and they're all from Southeast Asia, with 5 non-empty exhibits. So, you only actually need to do 2 Javan rhinos, 2 Malaysian tapirs, 2 orangutans, and then like 2 other animals from Southeast Asia. And assuming that you did those orangutans, Javan rhinos, and Malaysian tapirs in separate exhibits, you only need 2 more exhibits. And if you do that from Southeast Asia and achieve a zoo rating of 85, then you're done. So really, you just need 5 Southeast Asian exhibits, 3 of which are already specified, and if you exhibit animals only from Southeast Asia and you exhibit at least one of the Southeast Asian big cats, you get additional support. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is this isn't a difficult scenario. Plus, okay, the scenario map is hilly. That might actually affect us somewhat because we will probably have to level some terrain. If I destroy everything on the map, I get an extra $29,716. So we actually start with almost $105,000, which is plenty of cash. And it's mostly rainforest anyway, which is even better because, orangutans want some hills and rainforest terrain. Malaysian tapirs want flat land and rainforest. Javan rhinos want rainforest and flat land. Most of the animals that we're gonna exhibit in Southeast Asia want this sort of terrain, i.e. rainforest, dirt, and maybe a bit of fresh water. So we've got plenty of money. We have a zoo rating of 85 requirement. There's no animal happiness requirement other than exhibit suitability rating of 85, and there's no guest happiness requirement. So yeah, this really could not be simpler. Weirdly, for this scenario, you can have dinosaur digs and marine mania content. Whoops. But anyway, let's unpause and start the actual scenario for proper. So, I believe in this game there are, I want to say, 8 different species of animal from Southeast Asia that are available to adopt. Or are available to be adopted, I should say. So obviously there's orangutans, Malaysian tapirs, and Javan rhinos. There's also the Asian elephant, the black leopard, the clouded leopard, the saltwater crocodile, the Bengal tiger, and the white Bengal tiger. So there's nine species available from Southeast Asia. And yeah, that'll do for a bit of levelled up terrain. We could actually go for the Southeast Asian stone path, but since guest happiness isn't, which would be fitting for the Southeast Asian Zoo, that's why I'm suggesting it. But since guest happiness is not a priority, we just literally go with the dirt path. And just level up some more terrain. Or terrain. It's actually a bit confusing to see what is levelled and what isn't, but, you know, with all the grid and everything, it's a bit difficult to see what is on what level. Right, so, first of all, I suggest we'll do the tapir. So that can be just 10 to 10. So yeah, funnily enough, I actually saw a video on YouTube that didn't have that many views, where somebody actually beat this scenario as a speed run, and they actually beat the entire scenario in about 10 minutes. It's really not a difficult scenario. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I'm waffling on and sort of explaining what I'm actually doing, but, you know. And also, I'm not a speed runner anyway, so like I like to take my time and do things properly, but the fact that you only need 85 suitability is really, really low. So you can basically get away with like the bare minimum for these exhibits. I think this scenario is more just to sort of introduce you to some of the new species like orangutan, Javan rhino, and tapir, and then like maybe like the Asian elephant, Komodo dragon. That's another one as well. I don't know if I actually mentioned that or not. You know, there are a lot of Southeast Asian species. Unfortunately, they're mostly rainforest. I think the only one that isn't rainforest is the saltwater crocodile. So, you know, it is a very sort of varied, not varied as such, because like I say, it's mostly rainforest. But there's a lot of different species available, and it's an interesting part of the world in terms of this game. And you can see already, I've already got to 98 suitability. And there you go, 99 suitability gives me an extra 15,000. Like I said, cash is really, really not the priority in this game. But just for the sake of actually filling or satisfying guests' needs, we will get, we'll put down a rainforest restaurant just to kind of go with the theme. And we'll also give them like a gift shop. I don't think we really have to actually give them anything else, really. I mean, we can do, but there's like no real need because this scenario is probably going to be over in like a matter of months. Alright, so now all we need to do is just build the orangutans and the Javan rhino. By the way, in the I've not actually mentioned, but in the scenario description, it mentioned about raising or exhibiting one of the Southeast Asian big cats. So it says, if you only exhibit animals from Southeast Asia, which is kind of, you know, not an actual requirement, but it's massively sort of recommended and implied, and you exhibit at least one of the Southeast Asian big cats, you can expect additional support from the government of Thailand. I think the additional support as it is, or as it were, is just like maybe an extra sort of $10,000 or something. I don't think it's loads, but considering you're going to need like one of those animals anyway from Southeast Asia, it makes sense to have one of the cats, because then you're both satisfying your goal and not going out of your way to complete an objective you don't really need to do. But you also get extra money. So your options, as far as that's concerned, are clouded leopard, Bengal tiger, white Bengal tiger, or black leopard. And they're all popular animals with guests and everything. I'm just going to save the game. But the clouded leopard and the black leopard will require the cat climbing tree, which obviously has to be researched. The white Bengal tiger and black leopard have to be researched from the endangered animals list. So the only one that requires no research at all is the Bengal tiger, which is actually a really popular animal anyway. The only thing you might have to research is the rock cave animal shelter, but you don't actually have to research that, because you can, I think, get 100 suitability with just the wooden shelter anyway, so you know, that's not a priority. And also, I know how guest happiness is not a actual objective in this game, or in this scenario. I'm just doing this sort of as a matter of practice, and also just as a bit of extra money. That's something you don't see very often. Animal happiness 100. And as soon as I say that, it immediately drops to 94. Because we need a zookeeper, because these animals are going to get hungry otherwise. So yeah, like I said, this can be done a hell of a lot quicker than what I'm doing. I'm just doing this to show you basically what we have to do, and I'm taking my time so I can actually explain things. Otherwise I could do this a hell of a lot quicker. Like, I don't need to bother really with, you know, like compost building over there, or like guest happiness, or money making buildings. You get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, the objective required Javan rhinos. Javan rhinos are obviously from Java, which is in Southeast Asia. So let's get those set up. Oops. And yeah, like, as I keep saying, this is not a difficult scenario. Really, this should be in, like, beginner difficulty, but it's in intermediate, so... But after this scenario is the... comes... After this scenario, we move on to the advanced difficulty scenarios, and that's when the difficulty actually ramps up a bit. I don't think there's anything that's like stupidly difficult, but there might be some that require a bit of thought and a bit of effort. And there you go, suitability 100. So at present we have zoo rating of 75. We do need a zoo rating of 85, which should be doable with 5 exhibits, but if not, we can always just get extra ones. And also, by actually having happy guests, that will increase the zoo rating anyway, so we do need a somewhat functional zoo. It's no good just having 5 exhibits and nothing else in the zoo. Because if the guests are really unhappy, then the zoo rating will suffer. And actually, one way to increase the zoo rating would be to use better paths than just simply dirt path, but I don't think that's absolutely necessary. Alright, and then the final actual required exhibit was the orangutans, and they will require a bit of hilly terrain. After that, we'll probably just do like Bengal tigers and then like Asian elephant. Okay, so orangutans. We can't use that fence because obviously then they'll just climb out of it, so we need the plexiglass. That is only 8 or 9 squares, so that's not enough. Alright, so orangutans. They don't want loads of hills, but just a little bit of elevated terrain. That should be enough, to be honest. They will need the jungle gym and the rope swing, and then durian trees, or however you pronounce that. We have a lot of vomiting guests for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm not really that bothered about it either, because guest happiness is already 91. If we can get guest happiness 95, then obviously that's another 25 grand. So that will come in useful. And also a lot of these animals want fairly similar terrain, you know, grass, rainforest, dirt, maybe a bit of fresh water. It's going to be quite difficult to actually put in a shelter here due to the way that I've designed the exhibit. These guys probably want a wooden shelter. Yeah. So they want a bit more grass and a bit more dirt, because there's way too much rainforest apparently. Yeah, orangutans make some weird noises in this game, as you can hear them. Okay, probably going to need another zookeeper, to be honest. Okay, so we're already at 80 zoo rating, and we still have 2 exhibits left to build. But we've done the orangutans, giraffe, rhinos, tapirs. So basically, once we build those 2 exhibits, we'll satisfy all the goals except for 85 zoo rating, which we might actually do just by building those exhibits anyway. Just build in a bit of scenery. Because this scenario is so short, we shouldn't need a maintenance worker. Because I can't imagine that any of the fencing is going to break by the time the scenario ends. But we could get tour guides. Save the game very quickly. We could get a tour guide. And yeah, like I said, we're going to go for some African elephants and then some Bengal tiger. Or Bengal tigers. That's a weird shape exhibit, but it is 9 by 10 minus 1 square. So it's like 89 squares, which is big enough for Bengal tiger. So yeah. And then... Oh. So, I don't know exactly when you get the bonus for having the Southeast Asian big cat, but obviously the Bengal tiger is a Southeast Asian big cat, so maybe when we build the 5 exhibits, or maybe when this exhibit suitability reaches a certain point. I mean, it's only at 82 at the moment, so maybe when it hits 85. We're going to need a lot of exhibit foliage for that to happen. It's just hit 90 suitability, so maybe we have to have the 5 exhibits. So we might not actually get this bonus, whatever it is. I'll tell you what, the fact that you can use the rainforest fern instead of the mangrove tree is a massive help, because it saves $110 per bit of foliage. Which, when you need as much foliage as you do for a tiger, that's a big saving. I don't know if you have to use more foliage than you would do with the mangrove, but it's still going to be a lot cheaper to just use this than the mangrove. And there you go, 100 suitability. Plus also it's a lot easier to see what's going on in the exhibit than using mangroves. As I've said before, because obviously this is much shorter foliage and, you know, it doesn't just hide all the exhibit like it does with, say, like the durian tree or the giant ficus tree. Like a big tree, you can't really see what you're doing, so you have to hide the foliage to actually see everything. Anyway, we've got some hungry orangutans, so let's get some. Let's get a second zookeeper. All right. So we need one more exhibit, and then we just need to get 95 or 85 zoo rating. If we can get guest happiness 95, then obviously that will help a lot. So that is big enough for the elephants, because that is 9 by 9 by 10 might be big enough, but we'll do 9 by 12 just to be on the safe side. Okay. And also, just to increase like guest happiness, we'll put in... I can't put the petting zoo in like that. There's no point having a prairie dog cafe. We can put in a Japanese garden. Yep. Got a Japanese garden in like that. Animatronic theatre? No, that's too big. Alright, well let's just put in some scenery. So we'll put in a fountain. And... Sphinx statue. Bighorn statue. And then we can also put in an obelisk. Yeah, let's put in some elephant statues. Just a bit of scenery to make the zoo look a bit nicer and hopefully increase guest happiness and zoo rating. Put an Asian elephant statue in, seeing as it's going to be right next to the Asian elephant exhibit. And then we can also put in the rainforest vase. I want something that's like just 2x2, so like, yeah, snake pit. Alright. That fits fine. And then just put in some exhibit signs here and there. Bengal tiger can't find any food. Probably actually want to get a third zookeeper, maybe. Because these 5 exhibits... I don't know. I'm just imagining that elephants will probably require quite a bit of maintenance and look after. So it might be an idea to actually get a third zookeeper. We'll get 2 tour guides, seeing as we can afford them. Maintenance worker not necessary, like I say, because none of this fencing is going to break. Really. Okay. Asian elephants don't require the swinging log toy, which is very useful. They are also smaller than the African elephant, but I don't think that really makes much difference. We've got an ill orangutan, that's not good. Because that will decrease zoo rating and guest happiness. These Asian elephants want a lot of fresh water. You can actually build a Marine Mania tank and have like a combined exhibit, like you can with the like sea lions and sea otters and stuff like that. Too much dirt, not enough fresh water. Yeah, I told you they wanted a lot of fresh water. And they want like basically no dirt at all, really. Only a tiny bit. Right, foliage and rocks. You want foxtail palms and some rocks. So let's do the foxtail palms first of all. I still haven't actually received any bonus for having the Bengal tigers, but I'm thinking I'd probably get that after I do everything else, so it's really not going to be much of a bonus. Wow, guest happiness and... Okay. Everything's dropping. Is that... That orangutan is still ill. Why is he not being cured by the zookeeper? Also, these Asian elephants are not very happy. But I'm working on fixing that. They will be happy soon. Okay, now they need rocks. There you go, that's 99 suitability. So, guest happiness is only 84. I think that's probably because we've got a lot of new guests have just come into the zoo. The zoo rating is only 75. This orangutan needs to be cured. Why is he not getting cured? Zookeeper 3 is having difficulty getting to the zoo. I'm wondering if this zookeeper can't actually get to the orangutan. Possibly because of the way that I've built this exhibit. I don't think the zookeeper can actually get out. Yeah. I don't think the zookeeper could actually get to the orangutan, so I'm going to have to clear a path. Because these trees were getting in the way. It's possible that I've actually made too much elevated terrain. Which obviously wouldn't help. Okay. Right, orangutans are now 100 suitability. Animal happiness is now 96. Guest happiness is 85. Zoo rating is 79. I still haven't actually received anything for having only the animals from Southeast Asia and one of the Southeast Asian big cats. I don't know why I haven't received anything as a reward. Unless I did and I just missed it. Like, as far as I'm aware, I didn't receive any kind of... No, there's no anonymous donation. So, I don't know why I haven't received anything from that. Okay, guest happiness is back up to 90. Zoo rating 80. Animal happiness is 98. I'm thinking I probably need another exhibit because I don't think that I can get 85 zoo rating with just this. So why don't we research some stuff that will help us out and possibly increase zoo rating. So we're not going to need shelters or enrichment. Nutritional animal food will help. Just out of interest, if you spend 66, this is done in 20 days. If you spend 33, this is done in 30 days. If you spend 13, it takes 41 days. So, that's interesting. Okay, that's very useful. I actually never knew that. I always go with 66, which means it does research quicker. But you actually end up spending more money. Because here, if you spend $66 a day, it researches in 20 days. Which is $1,320 on research. But if you spent $13, it was done in, I think it said 41 days. So yes, it takes twice as long to research, but you spend a hell of a lot less on the research. So if you're not actually bothered about the speed at which you research things, you're actually better off spending the minimum amount on research. Huh. That elephant's sort of rolling around and I don't know if it's gone to sleep or if it's just sort of playing. But it's sort of... I think it's sleeping. But both of these elephants are very happy, which is good. As for conservation, I suppose we could go for animal houses. I think at the moment we're not actually going to get zoo rating 85 with just these exhibits. Still haven't received anything as far as bonus is concerned. I think seeing as we've got plenty of time, let's go for some animal houses. So yeah, 14 days, 28 days. Huh. Yeah. If you're not bothered about how long it takes to research something, minimum funding is the way to go. On the other hand, if you want something as quickly as possible, then just spend the maximum amount on funding. So even with 97 guest happiness and 97 animal happiness, we unfortunately can't get higher than 82 zoo rating at the moment. Maybe we could get 83 if I change these dirt paths to like cobblestone and brick. Oh god. But yeah. So with that in mind, let's level up this terrain. Which admittedly does cost almost $10,000. Put in some extra stuff and a bit of scenery. And because we only want animals from Southeast Asia, that does limit us slightly in our options of what we can and cannot exhibit, but not tremendously so. So we're going to be fine. I mean, we can do Komodo dragon, we can do white Bengal tiger with research, we could do clouded leopard, we could do black leopard with research, we could do saltwater crocodile, and I think that's it. I think there's 10 animals in the Southeast Asian, in Southeast Asia in this game. Like 10 different species. We could do clouded leopard. Let's actually put in the aviary, seeing as we just unlocked it. We could also actually get the elephant ride. Right, let's put in the aviary. Because aviary has a big guest capacity, and guests do seem to like it. Also requires no maintenance, or no upkeep cost, if you just have like the bare minimum, which I think is Birds of Africa? Oh, Birds of the Tropical Rainforest. How fitting for a Southeast Asian themed zoo. Alright. So yeah, I said this was like a quick scenario, and like, you know, technically it is. It's just you've got to get the 85 zoo rating, which obviously requires more exhibits. So we can actually build the crocodile exhibit pretty small. We can actually do like 10 by 8. There you go, Zookeeper Training 1 is now available, that's useful. And we can actually use the low plexiglass because crocodiles can't climb out their exhibit, which is very useful. So yeah, let's go with saltwater crocodiles. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to spend quite a bit terraforming this because it is basically all rainforest. And then the insect house is also available. So the saltwater crocodile is like the only animal from Southeast Asia in this game, in Zoo Tycoon at least, that doesn't have the rainforest as its primary biome. Oops. Okay, so then obviously rocks and foliage. So even though this is a saltwater crocodile from Southeast Asia and the water reed is from Southeast Asia and that's what it says it prefers, I think you can actually get higher exhibit suitability with the water lily. There you go, like 99 suitability. 100 suitability. Yeah. I don't know why, but water lily over water reed is the way to go, and it is a lot cheaper. And we'll also put in the... Oh, there you go, we've already got 84 zoo rating, so we might actually hit 85 anyway. Like, pretty much soon. Alright. Even though we've basically researched this maintenance worker training, we don't need it. So I can probably actually just put that down. We'll keep it at 66 for now. I imagine that, like, you know, this will probably turn over to 85 zoo rating, like, very quickly, and then we will be done. Just going to quickly name the exhibits, just to give me something to do, because I think the scenario is basically won at this point. So okay, I've needed one extra Southeast Asian exhibit in the form of a crocodile exhibit, but, you know, the fact is that I've actually done quite a bit of research and quite a bit of terraforming, and I've got 97 guest happiness, 98 animal happiness, and I still don't have 85 zoo rating. Why not? People are using the animal houses, which is good. Yeah, with zoo ratings, not really much you can do other than just make sure you don't have any ill animals, which we don't. Make sure you've got very happy animals. Make sure you've got a lot of happy guests, which we do. and have a sort of valuable, decent zoo, which we kind of do, but I guess maybe just put in a bit more bit more in the way of scenery. I guess that's all we can really do. As soon as that hits 85, we win the scenario, and the scenario just ends, so... Handily, this decorative hedge isn't hidden when you hide zoo foliage. It only hides foliage from exhibits. So it might not look like I'm really doing much at the moment, but I'm just basically trying to make the zoo a bit prettier in the vague hope that I can get the 85 zoo rating, and then that's literally the scenario 1. And there you go. Congratulations, you have won. We will select yes. So there you go, 85 zoo rating. So yeah, really not a difficult scenario, and I didn't think it was going to be. You know, at no point did I think this was going to be difficult. The only quote-unquote hard part is the 85 zoo rating, which, you know, is not difficult at all. I don't know if like the animal houses were strictly necessary, but they just, you know, they give the guests something to do. They encourage the guests to go over to see the crocodiles, which to be fair I think they would have done anyway, because crocodiles are popular in this game. And, you know, they use up a bit of space, they make the zoo look nicer. Kind of disappointed now because I've got a bit of cobblestone path and then mostly dirt path. I'd have preferred to actually all be the cobblestone because it does look nicer. So I might actually just go the extra mile and just fill all this in with cobblestone path. You know, it'll only take a minute. And then we can say that, yeah, the scenario has been beaten. I'm actually going to hide all this just so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, like I say, this is actually the last intermediate scenario. After this, it is the advanced scenarios. So it will go, I believe, Zoo Tycoon, then Dinosaur Digs, and then Marine Mania. And then like any sort of ones like this where you sort of have to download them, but you can use mixtures of Zoo Tycoon, Dinosaur Digs, and Marine Mania type stuff. So the next scenario is the Island Zoo scenario, which I've not played in years. I have won it before. And I think it's a fun little scenario. I don't think it's particularly challenging, but then I also don't really remember. I remember what you have to do, and I remember the map, but I don't remember like how difficult the scenario objectives actually are. Okay, so that's actually increased zoo rating to 86, so yeah, basically having dirt paths was kind of a bad idea because the zoo rating was suffering as a result, because it was only 84 with the dirt paths, but it's 86. Now I've gotten rid of those. So yeah, very happy guests, very happy animals, with quite a bit of things to do for the guests. So once last time we will save the zoo, pause the game, and yeah. Right, thank you so much for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and I will see you in the next scenario, which will be the advanced scenarios for Zoo Tycoon base game, Island Zoo, which will be a longer one than, well, this one, and just in general, because it's a 2-year deadline. And then the advanced scenarios, just in general, some of them have 3-year deadlines, so they will be longer videos, and then I'll end up having to split them into 2 parts. Because I can't do a video for 3 in-game years. It would be too long. Anyway, yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this fun little scenario. Video longer than I expected, but then I do tend to ramble and waffle like I'm doing right now. But yeah, not a difficult one. Bit of a fun one. Just a nice fun way to end the intermediate scenarios. Take care, folks. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.